Alright, so we are playing, I guess, PlayStation 4 Faux Frost is, I guess, the working title. That's what we're going with. So basically, as a big Al Chest Breach fan, one of my favorite playthroughs of his is his Fallout 4 Frost playthrough, which Frost is basically just like a big survival overhaul mod, and it changes like the world and the setting and all kinds of things. Now on PlayStation 4, Frost does not exist, and there's not even really all that many equivalents of it on here, just because Sony being Sony does not allow any external assets or any kind of like heavy like game altering scripts and things like that. I don't know, I'm an idiot. I know nothing about making mods. I've never made a mod, never tried to make a mod, nothing like that. Obviously I'm playing on PlayStation 4, so I'm an idiot by proxy. But anyway, there is a much appreciated but small modding community on PlayStation 4, and if you kind of chunk together enough of the mods that they're able to do within those limitations, you can kind of get like a Faux Frost kind of experience. So I'm actually going to open up my mod folder just as this beginning video and show you guys what mods I have enabled. And most of these, like I want to say like 90% of them, I was doing a playthrough non-recorded. And so I've played most of these mods and kind of like tested them out in the long run. I mean, I put like a good, I don't know, 20 plus hours into that game. And then when I did the PlayStation 4 update just now, it deleted all my save files. So that game is completely shit. It didn't brick my console, which I'm thankful for. People are like, oh, when you download the new system update for PlayStation 4, it's gonna make your console shit the bed and you're gonna have to send it in. That didn't happen, luckily. However, yeah, all my save files for my previous games are gone. I mean, I haven't really even like tried to like recover them. Maybe they're still on the hard drive and just need to be like, I don't know, like cloud re-downloaded or some shit. I don't know. But either way, I was planning on starting over and kind of doing, again, kind of like a Frost playthrough with all these ones that I've tested out. And I added a couple new ones in here, like this is a new one. But we're going to go through the mod list that I have enabled, and I'm just going to kind of explain what each one is. As good as, a complete imbecile can, describe a mod without any experience in modding. So, this one, Unofficial Fallout 4 patch, just tries to keep the game from not crashing. I still get frame rate problems in downtown, and I'm sure when the playthrough, if I ever get to, like, downtown Boston part of this game, I'm probably gonna have to, like, chunk together, like, little, like, it's gonna be, like, 5 minutes of gameplay and narration, game crash, and I'm gonna start the thing over again and over again. We'll see how that goes when we get to it. I'm sure there might be, like, other mods specifically for frame rate, shitting the bed things in here. I haven't really looked, but I remember that was a problem, again, even with the previous PlayStation 4 Faux Frost, like a tongue twister, thing I did. This one, to my understanding, like, a lot of the other armor mods and, like, adding things, like being able to wear backpacks and stuff, rely on this. Like, a lot of the other mods are like, oh, you gotta have this one. So I got this one. Whatever the fuck this does. Again, it's like a framework that allows you to do things. Speaking of which, this is like a big bunch of stuff that just basically allows you like color swap, decal swap, type swap. It allows you more adjustment in the crafting ability, which is helpful. And then this is just, for the DLC's version of that. Plenty of exploration is super cool and has like a bunch of little shacks and places and other things that just to add more clutter and places to stop in the game, which is usually a good thing when you're doing like a survival playthrough, because there's more food, there's sometimes beds there, you can sleep. And yeah, speaking of which, so in Al's playthrough, he had a mod called Nest Bunkers, which adds like bunkers around the world, but I couldn't find that mod for PlayStation 4. However, this is pretty much like the same thing. In fact, I'm rewatching Al's Frost playthrough, which is kind of what made me really want to do this playthrough, is just, you know, to, again, kind of like see how close I could get with PlayStation 4 and Sony's limitations with external assets and yada yada. But this one is actually, compared to his Frost shelters, this one's actually more cheaty, because I think there's more of them. They're in easier to find spots. They're not like tucked away like some of the nest bunkers are. They have a lot more shit in there. Like almost every single one has like a bed and water and workstations and shit. There was one time where I went in one and it was like filled with ghouls, which was a nice surprise, but otherwise there's never like enemies in there, where again with Al's nest bunkers there's always like rats and rad roaches, or sometimes you go in there and it's literally like just nothing. So that one's actually a little bit more cheaty and helpful for doing a survival playthrough. Underground Railroad, this is one of the new ones that I did not have previously, and I feel like an idiot for not having it. Al had this one on Frost. Again, I saw him using it, and I was like, ah, man, I wish there was something like that for PlayStation. Well, here it is. It's literally the exact same mod. So basically, when you play survival, fast travel is disabled, and sure, there's sometimes, like, they add, like, you know how, like, Skyrim always had, like, the horses? You could go and talk to, like, take a carriage if you wanted to be, you know, more immersive or whatever, and not fast travel. Well, this is just kind of like cheaty fast travel that's not fast travel, and you have to go to the area of the map and like unlock a manhole cover and then take the chains down, so you can't just like spam it. But really helpful, especially if you're doing a playthrough and people don't want to watch, you know, 10 hours of just walking. So excuse me, burped. So there's only like a handful of survival overhauls. And the one I was using initially was, what is it called? Immersive Gameplay Survival Hardcore version something or another. So in order to get that mod to work, you had to have immersive gameplay, and then immersive gameplay for the DLCs, and then you had to have immersive gameplay as a survival hardcore version. So you had to have 3 mods installed, and it was pretty heavy-handed. Like, there were certain perks where literally they would just be, like, blurred out and you just couldn't pick them, and it really, again, it was just really a heavy-handed survival mod, and it changed, like, the whole thing, and, like, a dog bites you once and you just instantly explode. This one, I actually like it a little bit better. It works better with other mods kind of compiled with it. You can kind of tailor it a bit more. Again, it's not as heavy-handed, but it's still good, and it does a lot of, like, the same things you would expect from survival Overhaul mod. I drink coffee. I can't talk. Usually coffee helps me articulate my human speech protocols, but not now. I can't fucking talk worth shit. It's just fucking... Anyway, so, yeah, this is a... I switched to this one in the middle of, again, my previous survival playthrough that got deleted by Sony. And I like this one, again, better just because I can kind of add things onto it. Though there is another... Well, a couple other, but one big mod, and I'll point it out when we get to it, that you kind of need in order for this to all kind of be frosty, I guess. Speaking of which, reverb ambience overhaul, just noises, just, you know, good noises. Oh shit, what happened to my Spotlight flashlight mod? Hang on a second. God damn it. One of the most important ones. I missed a letter. Flashlight, there we go. I hope that mod still exists. It's like, what is it called? Pip Boy Spotlight. Okay, there's 2 of them. Which one do I want to go with? Vanilla Pip Boy Spotlight. Okay, this one has more stars, but it has less downloads. Is like one like a newer version? Okay, this is version 2. This one's also version 2. I wish it would tell you when... I don't know. They look like the fucking same thing. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe the old version of that mod that I used to have got deleted or something. But damn, I'm glad I spotted that. That's like a fucking vital one. So we're going to go back to load order and just make sure it's not at the very bottom, which of course it is, because timescale has to be at the bottom. We'll get to that one in a second. Let's put that up there with like the lighting and other mods. I know, boring! I was supposed to have this all set and ready so I could just go through and talk to him. Okay, where the fuck did we leave off? Pulaski shelters, talking about that, survival. So this one I might actually deactivate because I have another lighting mod which is right below this one. And when I was doing the when we start up, by the way, I did the very beginning intro spot. So when the playthrough actually starts, we just got out of spoilers out of the cryo freeze chamber. Like we literally just popped out of there. But I wanted to skip the stupid you know, talking to Codsworth and the talking to the salesman guy, because I've seen that shit like 1,000 times, and it seems to go in like time slows like down to nothing. It's really boring to watch. So I made the character, I did his face, I got it kind of looking vaguely like me. I spent too much time on it though, got our character all built. But yeah, I noticed it was super fucking dark. Like, that whole sequence is supposed to take part during the day, but it was super dark. And it was snowing indoors, but, you know, that's just Fallout. So this is the one. This really makes, the frosty flavor. In fact, you could, if you didn't want to do, like, a survival thing, you just wanted to have, like, the vibe of Frost, this mod is amazing. Like, whoever made this mod, this is fantastic work. But, yeah, again, sometimes it compounds with this darker night and rainy weather thing, and it just makes it too dark and too, you know, Seattle-y, which is fine, but I love Seattle, but sometimes it's just too dark at night where you can't see shit. But, yeah, this is really what gets the Frost vibe going, and then you just put, like, whatever survival mod of the week that you want. If you want to do the survival hardcore mod, which is still a great mod, I'm not, like, shit-talking again, it's just, it changes so many aspects of the game, whereas Fallout 4 Wasteland Survival sticks more to, like, the perk lists, especially, are left relatively unmolested. Just kind of, like, altered slightly. So bleak is pivotal. So in order to see in that fucking dark-ass shit, you kind of need this mod. And I hate the Pip Boy light, the green ambience. I always forget that's a thing, and then whenever this mod gets, like, uninstalled or deleted, like it was just now, like, fucking the Pip Boy light is so shit. So I like this where it's just like a flashlight. It's a lot cooler, makes it, again, more ambient. Ignoring that. This one, I don't know if I'm going to keep it on or not, because honestly, it seemed to struggle with all the added mod items. And it kind of does it in a weird way. We're going to leave it on for now. Especially now that we got a clean, fresh, new game thing going on. Maybe the sorting system will have a better shot of sorting things, but honestly, I don't think the vanilla sorting system is all that garbage. I mean, it's not good, but it's not like, you know, I'm not that miffed about it. But speaking of which, this leads me to another thing. I really wanted to get, like, there's a mod called Fallout Souls for, I think that's what it's called, for computer, where when you pull your Pip-Boy up, it, like, nothing pauses, or when you use, like, the start menu, it doesn't pause the game, like, enemies can still attack you and shit. I looked for something like that, I couldn't find it. Again, that's probably, like, a script-heavy thing. I would love something like that for PS4, but alas, we do not have it. So, you know, again, if time pauses when you open up the menus, then you can just kind of, you know, tediously sift your way through it. But again, if this helps, you know, kind of label things and sort things out, which sounds like its whole point of existing, and there we go. This is another new one. I haven't tried this. I don't remember in my previous survival playthrough if ghouls opening doors or gates was really that much of an issue, but either way, it seems like they shouldn't be able to do that. Al Chessbreach had an amazing lock mod where he could go behind a door and then lock it so NPCs couldn't get in, which I am super jealous of. Again, I couldn't find anything like that for PS4. It would be cool to have. But just so, you know, zombies don't open fucking doors and whatnot. Daisy the Pack Brahmin, I love her, and, you know, when you're playing survival, you can't carry shit all anything. Like, you fucking, like, pick up a potato and you just, like, collapse to the ground, your knees buckle. But, so I used her a little bit last time, and I love her, but I don't know if I'm going to use her. She's a little bit cheaty, honestly, because enemies don't attack her at all, at least from what I remember of my last playthrough. Like, they just completely ignore her, and she can carry a shit ton. I know that's like, oh, that's the point, but I do love her, and it's cool. Maybe we'll go get her if people in the comments are like, oh, you need to go get Daisy to help you carry shit, or if it just becomes like a tedious thing where me carrying things, I'm, being over-encumbered man constantly, then we can go get her. This is the first of, I think, 2 cheat mods I have, and I don't know if you guys scream at me not to do it, I'm not going to do it, but what I usually do is for Sanctuary, I spawn one of these and drop it into the workbench or whatever, and then that's it, and then I never use it again, and if I want to, build anything or do anything with it, then I have to go back to Sanctuary, or we could pick some other arbitrary spot, but I like to pretend there's at least one place in, the wasteland that has just, like, unlimited resources, and doing the fucking settlement management is such a fucking chore. So, I mean, yeah, this is, no doubt this is a cheat. Like, it's not even trying to pretend it's not a cheat, but again, resource management and shit is such a pain in the ass. Even in the vanilla game, it sucks. So, and then again, when you have to be really conservative with your perk points and how you use them, it's like, oh, I'm gonna become a community leader or whatever the fuck that perk is, to, get the places, all your settlements to trade with each other and set up a trade network? Fuck no. We need, like, strength and, eaten dead body perks. That's what we need. We need to not die. That's the perks we need. So, can't be wasting time on frivolous shit like that. But again, this comes down to, like, self-control, where you can easily just ignore this and not use it, and then not be a cheating son of a bitch. But so that's the first of, again, I think there's 2, possibly 3 mods in here that I would consider, like, cheaty mods, but anyway. Portable ammo crafting, and I think this does require, in fact, I almost never use this mod, because if I remember right, it requires you to have so many components of things to use, and again, science perks, gun nut perks, all kind of perks to use things that usually it's almost not worth the time to use it. But when ammo is so scarce in survival with these survival mods on top of it, dude, you gotta be able to convert some of your, your 7.62 to fucking, to 38, because that's all you're gonna be able to carry. But anyway, so that's a cool mod. I almost never used it in my last playthrough. I think I used it like twice, and each time I was like, dude, this is awesome, I don't use this more, but I always kind of forget it's there. So I can make ammo, and this is in a similar vein. This just kind of makes ammo make slightly more sense, and you can change receivers to, so like if you find a gun you really like but you only have a certain kind of ammunition, there's more flexibility with that, which is all kind of made moot by the other cheaty mod, which again we'll get to. Companion infinite ammo, that's mainly me being lazy. Like, I like that the game was by default like, oh, your companions have set amount of ammunitions. Honestly, last time, again, in the previous thing, if I remember right, I don't think that Wasteland Survival nerfs the lone survivor perk, because most other survival mods, they nerf that perk and make it to where, like, oh, if you have a single settlement allied to you, you don't get any of the buffs for lone survivor. But last time I did lone survivor perk, and it helped a lot. And I think you can even have dog meat and, again, the Daisy the Pack Brahmin with you, and that doesn't deactivate the perk buffs. It's only when you have, like, Nick or Piper or any of the other idiots with you that it turns off. So that's kind of cool, but I hate having to manage their shit. It's like, I have so much of a headache managing my own ammunition in survival. It's like, fuck, I don't have to deal with their shit. So they pick up, like, 1 bullet, and then they just have infinite ammo. This is another new one. I have not tried this, but it makes sense. This is basically where you can, like, bash down locked doors. Now, what's kind of irritating about this, but I get, again, this is probably like a Sony and Bethesda's creation kit kind of, what do you want to call it, limitation. But there's like a specific sledgehammer, like a named sledgehammer, that you get, whoops, skipped down, but that you can use to knock down doors. It sounds like, because see, right here, it sounds like, reading the description, it sounded like it just adds almost like a health bar to doors. So I could use, weapons that aren't this cheaty doorbuster. Because see, it says the doorbuster is weightless, it won't take up carry space. Its base damage is a bajillion, so it could be a cheat weapon. So I kind of don't want to pick up that hammer. I just wanted to be able to destroy locked doors. So yeah, it says this mod works by giving each door destruction data and 10,000 health, or 100,000 health, sorry. And da-da-da-da-da. So it sounds like if I had any kind of weapon, I could smash the door down, or set, like, explosives or something. But it's just an alternative because, again, putting perk points into hacking terminals and or lockpicking, though I might do lockpicking, because lockpicking is usually the more common of the two, but when you hit, like, a door that requires a terminal and you don't have, like, Nick with you or somebody who can hack it, it fucking blows. So just being able to knock the door down is pretty cool. Winterblade is just a cool blue sword. It's in Jamaica Plain, though, so on my last playthrough, I never got to it, because it's all the way down south there. I was dying too much to find it. But maybe we could go and find this, like, a cool blue sword. Same with this. This is just, this one is actually right outside of Vault 111, so I should be able to find that and use that as kind of like a good starting weapon, though it uses fusion cells for ammo, so I'm never going to find any of that fucking shit. Realistic insect health is amazing, especially with the other mod that's coming up, the damage multiplier I have going on, because, yeah, bugs are annoying, and they can kind of really, like, you know, there's 3 bloat flies, and they're more of a threat to you than, like, a fucking deathclaw is. That's bullshit. So, yeah, this kind of helps with that. I mean, even with this on, again, like, stingwings and bloat flies and shit are still fucking, like, there's more than, like, 3 of them. You really gotta be like, okay, if one of them hits me once, I die. So, yeah, making them a bit more glass cannon-y, where you can, you know, they can kill you in one hit still, but at least, you know, if you sneeze in their direction, they'll fucking explode. So that's what this does, makes it more realistic. I never used this one either. It sounded cool, but getting the artillery stuff, and I'm so fucking stingy with it too. It's like, oh, here's an artillery smoke grenade. It's like, alright, I'll never use this. But yeah, just makes it more explosion. I don't know what this does. It's, again, seemed cool. Don't know. Does something. I'm sure it does something extremely helpful, and I just don't. It like runs in the background. So there was another mod that's the exact same one Al used, which is called Simple Camping, I think. I think it's like Simple Camping 2.0 is the newest one, and that's on PlayStation 4. However, I like this one more because it's a little bit less... I mean, I don't think the other one's cheaty by any other means, but again, watching Al's Frost playthrough, he could just throw down, like, a camping thing and then just, like, build, like, sleeping bag with no supplies or anything, and no weight, because it doesn't weigh anything, and just kind of, like, build everything he needed to cook food. Well, this is, like, the same thing, except it's individual pieces, so, like, they're basically like mines. So you can throw down a sleeping bag, cooking pot, even, like, a water pump. But what I like about this is that each of them has weight. So in my other survival playthrough thing, like, water was such a big concern, I was carrying around a dirty water pump with me, but the fucking thing weighed, like, no joke, it was like 15, 20 pounds or some shit. Which makes sense. So, with that, like, kind of caveat kind of thing going on, you really have to be like, okay, is it worth it to me to carry that much weight around when, you know, weight is at such a premium in survival? So I kind of like this one better. But the other one's cool, too. It's just, again, a little bit easier. This one's a little bit more difficult. And since I already got the closest I could get to the nest bunkers was this Pulowski VIP shelters, and this one's a little bit more cheaty than Al's version. I thought on the flip side for the camping mod, I'd go with the less cheaty one. Saving survival mode, again, this is just so I can save scum, and again, doing a playthrough, having to do, like, fucking... Admittedly, in my last playthrough, I kind of abused this, but since, you know, you guys are watching me now, hopefully, then, now I'll have to not save scum as much. So then, anyone can fill a bottle. This is pretty simple. You can take any empty bottles and fill them with dirty water, and you can go and purify them at the cooking station, yada yada. Boring enough. Vital to survival, though. And this is my second biggest gripe with Fallout 4 Survival, and specifically PlayStation 4, is that when you drink a bottle, it magically disappears. So, in my last playthrough, and unfortunately probably in this one, it is going to be like Bottle Hoarder Simulator, where straight up, we're gonna have to go to the breweries and just, like, overtake them and then hoard the bottles, because you go through bottles like fucking crazy. Even with this reusable camping thing where you can build a water pump, you still gotta be able to, like, make and, you know... And when you make, you know, it's not just, like, for drinking water. When you do, like, all the recipes for food, because you have to eat in survival mode, then, yeah, you kind of go through a lot of fucking water, and you need, like, purified water to make, like, bandages and medicine and shit, so... Yeah, that's, like, one of my biggest gripes. I wish when you drank the water, it gave you the empty bottle back, because in Owl's playthrough, and on PC... that's a simple script. It's like, oh, okay, you drink the bottle of water, it gives you the empty bottle back, and your character's not thirsty anymore. Nope, you're on PlayStation 4, the bottle magically explodes in your hands. So, that's really annoying. That's probably... Actually, I think that is my biggest gripe. I think it's bigger than the other one. But, Super Mutants are stupid. I like most of the other things, like the, Stingwings, Bloatflies, Mirelurks. All the other monsters and creatures are cool, but Super Mutants are so fucking goofy. Like, it's not even that they're hard to kill. This replaces them with ghouls, though, but... Yeah, it's not that they're difficult, they're just so goofy. And again, trying to make it more Frost-like. This mod does a pretty good job of replacing them. I do know in my previous playthrough where I had this mod on, there were certain Super Mutant camps that still had Super Mutants. But at least it cut down on them a little bit. God, are they fucking stupid. Yeah, this just adds, like, more shit you can eat and drink and make and stuff, which, again, for... Look, you can make coffee, which is cool for, again, a survival playthrough. Especially being able to make alcohol, because I think alcohol, just like in, Al's survival Frost playthrough, I think it does help with, like, carry weight. Like, if you drink, like, whiskey and stuff, like, it'll boost your carrying capacity. Like, it boosts your strength. I think. I'm pretty sure. So being able to craft it's pretty cool. I like the Minutemen, but they suck compared to everybody else. This is just, like, a buffer for them. Does it actually work? I don't know. Again, in a survival playthrough, you're kind of worried about your own shit too much to really notice what everybody else is doing. This just makes the companions less ugly. Oh, here's the second cheaty mod. So this, I really wish there was a version of this mod that just had, like, component requirements, because I love this mod, and we're actually going to use this specifically to cheat. I'm going to make myself a weapon with no, requirements. Well, I mean, I'll think about it, but, yeah, because this basically allows you to, like, piece together every single kind of, like... Well, I mean, with certain, you know, limitations, like gun parts with gun parts and melee weapons with melee weapons. But you can, like, tack on different parts of everything. You can add, like, all kinds of different, you know, legendary effects and all kinds of things. It's super cool. And again, just like the other mod, which adds receivers, which we're going to try and stick to that one. We're going to try and not use this, because this is a cheaty mod. But there's certain weapons that, and items that you can really only get with this mod. So we have it installed, ready to go. So, and I guess the other, like, we could place, like, imaginary limitations, again, just kind of be, like, responsible, I guess. And, you know, like, if we have this gun, and then we have this gun, and we want to, like, combine certain aspects of them together, we can, I don't know, pretend like we, you know, sawed one gun in half and glued it to the other gun, and then make that gun in a Wacky Weapons Workshop, and then just pretend like those two guns are gone. Or I can't console command delete them, which is what I'd do if this was a PC, but again, it's PlayStation 4. But maybe we could throw them in the ocean or something and be like, yep, those two guns are gone, now we just have this, you know, butchered together, cobbled together. But this is a really fun mod. Again, I wish there was just a version of it where it's like, oh, you want to combine these parts? Well, A, you have to have all the parts, and then you need to have, like, you know, adhesive and screws and steel and stuff to do the thing, and then perks and yada yada. But unfortunately, this is, like, completely freeform, which is why the author made it, is just to, like, you know, within the confines of game assets, like, how many different kind of guns can you come up with and slam together. But it's a super cool mod. I'm glad this exists. Dismemberment Overhaul is cool. Again, it kind of, I think immersive gameplay includes something like this, but since it's not part of Wasteland Survival. This one, just slam it in there and it works. And I think it also does something with adding a version of this mod that does not include headshot instant death. But actually for survival, on a survival playthrough, headshot instant death kind of works for us. So this is another one talking about Wasteland Survival that you kind of have to slam onto it. Like, even with, you know, playing in survival mode and all that other stuff, it doesn't get as hardcore as Frost. And again, something like this is included in immersive gameplay, survival, hardcore. God, yeah, it's a fucking tongue twister. That's a lot of words. But, yeah, this is, like, a similar thing where it just kind of ups the damage even more, so you get really, like, one-shotted. And yeah, see, this is the thing, is that it's damage received and dealt. So I do 5 times more damage, and things do 5 times more damage to me, which is awesome. So yeah, this makes it closer to Frost, where you die fucking quick. But, realistic death physics does something cool. This one's really helpful with the stupid mole rats and rad scorpions that just, like, magically show up in your asshole, so now that won't happen. I love this mod. Like, I don't think, like, straight up, I don't think I could play, like, Fallout 4 without this mod anymore, where it's like, what? They just fucking are magically everywhere, and they can go in the thing? And then this is the last one, where, for a survival playthrough, I like that you have to eat and sleep and all that, but it gets so fucking tedious, especially, I think Wasteland Survival actually speeds it up. It's like half-time, so you have to drink twice as much and eat twice as often and sleep twice as frequently. But having this time scale thing at the bottom really makes it, yeah, better. So yeah, I really like this one. And there's all these different versions of it. Why did I go with 20 to 6? I don't know. But, yeah, it also makes sleeping more, because you have to sleep in survival mode, but it also makes more of a benefit, where if you're, like, traveling around at night lasts a long-ass time, and you're like, oh shit, I regret going out and doing this. So, yeah, and that's all of them. That's all the mods we have enabled. That's, like, what, like 20 or something? So I know that was boring. It's just, I kind of wanted to, you know, for anybody on PS4, like, oh, how do I make my game more like Frost? Well, you'll see the result, and then you can look at this and then be like, oh, this is why. And again, this is just like my version of it. You could easily do something different. You could remove certain things, you could add certain things. You know, if some of these seem cheaty to you, you could disable them. If you don't need big boobs, you could turn that one off, but we need boobies. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And again, PS4 has all these limitations, but that's not always, like, a bad thing. Like, when you're playing on PC and, you know, you have all the mods in the world, and the world is your fucking oyster, then you can kind of get lost in it, where this, you kind of have to, like, I don't know, piece them together more and, like, think it out more. But, yeah, the only thing we're missing is I used to have Skillazerk's weapon mod thing, which I think got removed, but I had it as, like, even after it got removed, I still had it. And it was really cool. And I think that's the mod that added, like, traps, like bear traps and caltrops and things like that. Though, maybe, hopefully that's in one of these other mods, like, again, like, one of these big, like this UCO thing, or unlimited crafting, or one of the other mods. Hopefully it's in there, because, man, does my survival playthrough require a lot of caltrops and bear traps, because those are reusable and they're not that heavy. But if not, if they're not in there when we go to, like, the crafting things, we can go and try and find them. So this, I'm probably going to do this as, like, a separate, like, intro. I didn't expect this to go on that long, but this is just, like, the mod list, like, what mods I have enabled. And, hang on, I didn't want to do that. Go back. Okay, there we go. So real quick, but yeah, I think they removed all of Skillzerk's stuff, which is a shame. Actually, I take that back. I saw some of his armor mods and stuff on the Bethesda.net stuff, which, speaking of which, if you're looking for mods for, specifically for PlayStation 4 that are compatible, I would recommend going to Bethesda.net, and you can filter by like platform, like Xbox One, PC, or PlayStation 4, definitely do that, because if you go into Google search and you type, even if you type in PS4, Fallout 4, name of whatever mod or kind of mod you're looking for, you're going to get bombarded and flooded with stuff that is not PlayStation 4 compatible, and it's going to be impossible, it's going to be tedious as shit to find any kind of, mod that you're looking for. But while we're still here, go through some of my mods I didn't include. So this Lunar Fallout Overhaul is just one of the newer-ish overhauls I thought about trying, but I don't know. Maybe we'll add that in later. This is just a bus home thing. Al had the APC in Frost, so again, this was like the closest equivalent. I don't think it can travel, I don't think you can slam fusion cores in it and drive places, but even so, it was just like, again, in survival mode, having as many places where you can sleep and set up shop is good, so this was just another place. But I did not download it because I kind of forgot about it. I downloaded that yesterday. But maybe we'll include that one because, I don't know, it seemed cool just having a bus home. That's usually what I do in Hangman's Alley, is I build a bus in Hangman's Alley. I don't know why. I like the feeling of security and shelter that sleeping in a bus gives, I guess. I don't know. But, so here is immersive gameplay, survival hardcore, which again was super cool, but it was a little bit too brutal for my punk ass, straight up, I just couldn't handle it, and it changed so much that I ended up turning it off and switching over to Wasteland Survival. But if you're looking for more punishment than I am, then yeah, that one was awesome. Really hardcore. So again, you just combine that with Bleak, and you got this going on. There you go. You're halfway to Frost. So I guess the one thing I forgot to mention, which is super important, is that none of these mods, I'm not saying they're not able to, but to my knowledge, none of them change the vanilla story and gameplay and missions and stuff. So you're still, whatever the name of the main character of Fallout 4 is, you're still looking for Sean, you're still, in the Commonwealth, there's still the Institute, and yada yada yada. All the vanilla missions are still there. Whereas Frost, on the other hand, none of the... Again, it's in a completely different setting, so you're not that guy, you're not looking for Sean, yada yada. None of these PS4 mods are able to overhaul the game to that extent where they remove the vanilla mission content. So yeah, within that constraint, but then again, you slam Bleak on and you got this, then you just play through the vanilla game and it's a frosty version of the vanilla game. So that's what I'm doing too with my shit. It's the same concept, I guess. So this was me trying to make bottles, this manufacturing overhaul mod. I installed this and built all this shit, again, using my shipment cheat code mod or whatever, and you still can't make bottles. I tried everything, I could not make bottles. I was so upset, so we're leaving that off. It's still, I'm sure it's a cool mod that has other utility features and stuff, but I just needed to be able to make bottles, and I couldn't make bottles. Why do I not have this one down? What does this do? I don't know, another survival mod. Okay, what else can I talk about since this has gone on for 30 minutes? So, yeah, here's the other part of immersive gameplay you have to have installed. There's something else I want to talk about, but I guess that's it. Yeah, man. Alright, well, I know this was a boring, intro video. I just, again, wanted to go super deep in depth with what mods I have, what mods you can get, and yada yada yada, what kind of things you could build. And oh, here's more of my mods. Let's see. I wonder if it kept Skill Zerk shit in here. Probably not. It probably deleted it. Because again, I was hanging on to it. They took it off of the thing so you couldn't download it in it. I had the file already installed on my my previous survival playthrough game. No, they fucking got rid of it. Of course they did. Which sucks. Hopefully that's not how I got caltrops. We'll have to find fucking... If there's no specific mod, any alternative mod that doesn't have... That has, we need caltrops is what I'm saying. For survival, that needs to happen. Alright, man. Let's again, I'm gonna cut this video. Oh, we installed something. Okay, well, anyway, we're gonna have to wait for this to reinstall, but, I know, boring intro video. This will be, like, I'll probably put in the title, you can skip this. This is just, like, the list of mods before the playthrough begins, so you know what the fuck's going on. And we'll see how it turns on. Like, again, as this playthrough goes on, we can turn certain mods on and off and yada yada. But hopefully we won't have to do that too much, because, again, this is after I started, like, a survival playthrough with the intention of making it as close to Frost as I could, and that was where I was, like, adding mods and deleting mods and testing mods out and cycling through mods and da-da-da-da-da, like, trying everything out to see how it all worked together. So hopefully with all that experience, we won't have to turn off too many mods or turn on too many new ones, but we need caltrops. And if you guys know of any PlayStation 4 Fallout 4 mods that allow you to keep the fucking bottle after you drink it, for the love of God, let me know. But anyway, we're gonna get into this shit right now, so here we go.